Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Kunjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Vijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jai Mr. Paramahansa Paravatikacharya Ashtottara Shri Srimad Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Shnapad Paramahansa Paravatikacharya Ashtottara Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Narayanam Namaskritya Narang Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriet. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, we should offer our respectful obeisances unto Lord Narayan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Naranayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author, and unto Srila Prabhupada, the translator, commentator, and our spiritual master. Text 21, huh? Are you sure about that? Yeah. One who is conducted by false ego and thus cannot tolerate the opulence of self-realized persons. You definitely spoke on that. You don't think? That's the problem. You read two. Anyway, we'll read, as we did before, we'll read this one, I'll read the translation and we'll go on. Yeah, we have to try to get that right. Okay, where was I? Did I do Nashtaprayasha Bhadreshu? I don't think I did that. Nashtaprayasha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktim Bhavati Naishtaki. By regular attendance in classes on Srimad Bhagavatam, and by rendering devotional service to the pure devotee, all that is inauspicious within the heart is destroyed, almost to nil, and loving devotion to the Supreme Lord, who is glorified in the best of songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Yeah, good. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay. On this 25th day of July 2018 in SanDiego, we're reading from srimadbhagavatam, translation and commentary by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. We're reading from the fourth canto entitled The Creation of the Fourth Order. Chapter 3 talks between Lord Shiva and Sati. So we will read again text 21 and go on to text 22 and 23. Papacchamanena Vidaturendriya Samriddhibi Purusha Buddhi Sakshinam Akalpa Esham Adirodham Anjasa Parampadam Dveshti Yatasura Harim Papacchamanena Vidhaturendriya Samriddhi Purusha Buddhi Sakshinam Akalpa Esham Adirodham Anjasa Param Padam Dveshti Yathasura Harim Papacchamanena Vidaturendriya Samriddhi Purusha Buddhi Sakshinam Akalpa Esham Adirodham Anjasa Param Padam Dveshti Yathasura Harim Papacchamanena Vidaturendriya Samriddhi Purusha Buddhi Sakshinam Akalpa Esham Adirodham Anjasa Param Padam Dveshti Yathasura Harim Papacchamanena Vidaturendriya Samriddhi Purusha Buddhi Sakshinam Akalpa Esham Adirodham Anjasa Param Padam Dveshti Yathasura Harim Papacchamanena Vidaturendriya Samriddhi Purusha Buddhi Sakshinam Akalpa Esham Adirodham Anjasa Param Padam Dveshti Yathasura Harim. Bhaktas. Which Bhakta wants to go first? Go ahead, Davis. Jump in. Papacchamanena Vidaturendriya. Okay, let's get that right. Samriddhi. Samriddhi Purusha Buddhi Sakshinam. Adirodham Anjasa. Param Padam Dveshti Yathasura Harim. Alright, so we're not going to do the synonyms here because we did. Well, okay, we'll do it. Papacchamanena. Burning. Vida. With a heart. Atura Indriyaha. Who is distressed. Samriddhi. By the pious reputation, etc. Purusha Buddhi Sakshinam. Of those who are always absorbed in thought of the Supreme Lord. Akalpaha. Being unable. Esham. Of those persons. Adirodham. to rise, andasa, quickly, param, merely, padam, to the standard, dveshti, envy, yatha, as much as, asuraha, the demons, harim, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation: one who is conducted by false ego. Of course, this is Daksha speaking to his daughter, Sati. One who is, she was speaking to his daughter, to his wife, Sati. One who is conducted by false ego and thus always distressed, both mentally and sensually, cannot tolerate the opulence of self-realized persons. Being unable to rise to the standard of self-realization, he envies such persons as much as demons envy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So having read that and this purport, we'll go on to 22. My dear young wife, certainly friends and relatives offer mutual greetings by standing up, welcoming one another, and offering obeisances. But those who are elevated to the transcendental platform, being intelligent, offer such respects to the Supersoul, who is sitting within the body, not to the person who identifies with the body. Did we read that there? I mean, he was talking about that. I don't think he actually read it. Maybe he did. Anyway, we'll read this purport again, because we're reading the next one, which is really big. It may be argued that since Daksha was the father-in-law of Lord Shiva, it was certainly the duty of Shiva to offer him respect. In answer to that argument, it is explained here that when a learned person stands up or offers obeisances and welcome, he offers respect to the Super Soul, who is sitting within everyone's heart. It is seen, therefore, among Vaishnavas that even when a disciple offers obeisances to his spiritual master, the spiritual master immediately returns the obeisances because they are mutually offered not to the body but to the Super Soul. Therefore, the spiritual master also offers respect to the Super Soul situated in the body of the disciple. The Lord says in Srimadbhagavatam that offering respect to his devotee is more valuable than offering respect to him. What is it? Madbhakta pujarika. This is a line from the 11th canto, famous line. Devotees do not identify with the body, so offering respect to a Vaishnav means offering respect to Vishnu. It is stated also that as a matter of etiquette, as soon as one sees a Vaishnav, one must immediately offer him respect, indicating the Super Soul sitting within. A Vaishnav sees the body as a temple of Vishnu. Since Lord Shiva had already offered respect to the Super Soul in Krishna consciousness, offering respect to Daksha, who identified with his body, was already performed. There was no need to offer respect to his body, for that is not directed by any Vedic injunction. So this is all by way of him explaining why he didn't get up off the seat and offer his obeisance to Daksha, who completely misconstrued it. Now, I'm just going to chant this Sanskrit because it's a very, very famous verse. You'll probably recognize the first line. Sattvam vishuddham vasudeva shabditam yadi yate tattapamana pavataha sattve chatasmin bhagavan vasudevo yadhokshajo me namasabadhiyate. So this is a long verse in purport. I may break up the purport a little and explain as we go. I am always engaged, Lord Shiva says, I am always engaged in offering obeisances to Lord Vasudeva in pure Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is always pure consciousness in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Vasudeva, is revealed without any covering. Now, just before I read this purport, you see the importance of getting our long, generally it's the long and short A's that are confused. What really happens is the long A's become short out of laziness. Vanchakalpa, you know my revelation about Vanchakalpa. Well, and we'll read this purport for it. But Vasudeva and Vasudeva is very important, and we'll deal with that later. Purport: a living entity is constitutionally pure. Asango hyayam purushaha. In the Vedic literature, it is said that the soul is always pure and uncontaminated by material attachment. The identification of the body with the soul is due to misunderstanding. As soon as one is fully Krishna conscious, it is to be understood that one is in his pure original constitutional position. This state of existence is called Shuddha Sattva, pure goodness, which means that it is transcendental to the material qualities. Since this Shuddha Sattva existence is under the direct action of the internal potency of Krishna, in this state, the activities of material consciousness stop. For example, when iron is put into a fire, it becomes warm, and when red hot,
Although it is iron, it acts like fire. Similarly, when copper is surcharged with electricity, its action as copper stops, it acts as electricity. The Bhagavad Gita confirms that anyone who engages in unadulterated devotional service to the Lord is at once elevated to the position of pure Brahman. Now, who knows what that verse is? How to transcend the modes of material nature, chapter 14. Mam, Bhavichare na, bhakti yogena sevate, sagunan samatityayitan, Brahma bhuyaya kalpate. This is a verse that we should all know. Prabhupada quotes that verse. Therefore, Shuddha Sattva, so what this means is by engaging in undeviated devotional service unto me, one transcends the modes of nature and comes to the level of Brahman, Brahma Bhuta. Therefore, Shuddha Sattva, as described in this verse, is the transcendental position which is technically called Vasudev. Notice, as opposed to Vasudev. Vasudev is also the name of the person from whom Krishna appears. This verse explains that the pure state is called Vasudev because in that state, Vasudev, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is revealed without any covering. That's the apavrata. It's in this verse. To execute unadulterated devotional service, therefore, one must follow the rules and regulations of devotional service without desire to gain material profit by fruit of activities or mental speculation. In pure devotional service, one simply serves the Supreme Lord as a matter of duty, without reason and without being impeded by material conditions. That is called Shuddha Sattva, or Vasudev, because in that stage the Supreme Person, Krishna, is revealed in the heart of the devotee. Srila Jiva Goswami has very nicely described this Vasudev, or Shuddha Sattva, in his Bhagavat Sandarbha. He explains that Ashtotara Shata, now here's some information you may not have forgotten or never knew. I'd forgotten. He explains that the number 108, Ashtotara Shata, is added to the name of the spiritual master to indicate one who is situated in Shuddha Sattva, or in the transcendental state of Vasudev. The word Vasudev is also used for other purposes. For example, Vasudev also means one who is everywhere or all-pervading. The sun is also called Vasudev Shabditam. The word Vasudev may be utilized for different purposes, but whatever purpose we adopt, Vasudev means the all-pervading or localized Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, the Super Soul. In the Bhagavad Gita 7.19, it is also stated, or it is stated, Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Vasudeva is one who understands that has truly come to the point of knowledge. Factual realization is to understand Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and surrender unto Him. Vasudeva is the ground wherein Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is revealed when one is free from the contamination of material nature and is situated in pure Krishna consciousness, or in the Vasudeva state. Then Vasudeva, the Supreme Person, is revealed. This state is also called Kaivalya, which means pure consciousness. Jnanam Satvikam Kaivalyam. When one is situated in pure transcendental knowledge, one is situated in Kaivalya. Therefore, Vasudeva also means Kaivalya, a word which is generally used by the impersonalists. Kaivalyam Natakayate. You know that phrase? You ever heard? Kaivalyam Natakayate. This is the first words in a verse by Prabodhananda Saraswati describing Lord Chaitanya. All right, let me finish this purport. I'll maybe stop at the end of this paragraph and then explore some more. Impersonal Kaivalya is not the last stage of realization, but in Krishna consciousness Kaivalya, when one understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then one is successful. In that pure state, by hearing, chanting, remembering, etc., because of the development of knowledge of the science of Krishna, one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All these activities are under the guidance of the internal energy of the Lord. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnanandjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmidatam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, but my spiritual master Srila Prabhupada opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble obeisance unto him and all members of Sri Parampara. All right, we're going to try to finish this purport, but there's so much here that I want to make a few points. So, first of all, this phrase we can try to remember. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam. Sattvam Vishuddham means pure consciousness or pure existence, in this case. it also means pure goodness, which is commonly said good. There's sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna. You know. Now sattva guna is good because it is a platform upon which you can then build Krishna consciousness. But in and of itself, it's still a material mode. And as Krishna explains in the 14th chapter, that also conditions one. Remember how it conditions one? What are the two things you become conditioned with if you're basically in sattva guna? Happiness and knowledge. Yeah, material happiness and knowledge. You become very peaceful and happy in this material world, which is not good. You should be anxious to get out of it. And plus, sattva guna is never pure. It's always contaminated by a little bit of passion and ignorance, and sometimes they take precedence, and you're no longer in sattva guna. You're in passion. You know, it's always a struggle. So, but shuddha sattva, pure goodness, is a platform. That's like Brahmabhuta, in which Vasudeva appears. So, now Prabhupada begins the purport with this famous phrase, we should all know, asango yayam purushaha. This is one of these little phrases from the Vedas or Upanishads that are good to know. Asanga means no attachment or no association. And he means certainly, ayam purusha, this living entity, the living entity in the material world trying to be the enjoyer, certainly does not mix with the material energy. We are always transcendental. The problem is we've forgotten that and we're identifying with this material energy. But intrinsically we never really become contaminated. This is very encouraging because our natural state is to be separate from this material world, not absorbed in it as we already are. So, Prabhupada says in the Veda, it said the soul is always pure and uncontaminated by material attachment. Now, those attachments can appear in the mind, illusory attachments, temporary, but those attachments over time, that's what binds us. So we really need to come to our natural state. Now what Shiva is saying here is that Daksha made a huge mistake. In other words, this is a very good another lesson from this pastime. There's so many lessons. And that is, we should really understand that statement in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which I always forget the Bengali. But one, in ordinary consciousness, cannot understand the mentality or the activities of pure devotees. You know, it's a mystery. Just as Krishna is a mystery, you can't really know the state of consciousness of someone at that level or really understand their activities, which sometimes seem to be contradictory or whatever. So that's an important point. One should try to serve, become purified, and gradually that will be revealed. So, Daksha completely misconstrued Shiva. He took him on because he was, you know, conditioned because of his activities, even though he's an exalted, conditioned soul. And he was blinded by his love for his daughter and thinking that he wasn't a proper match for him and all of this stuff. So he had no idea that Shiva is constantly meditating on Vasudeva. He's in this Vasudeva state. And that there's no need for him to get up and offer obeisance to Daksha, who was completely in the material modes. He was a materialist. So he just continued meditating and offering his obeisances to Vasudeva, at the same time offering obeisance to Vasudeva in the heart of Daksha. But the physical getting up and honoring wasn't necessary or proper. That's what precipitated this whole thing. So, okay, so then Prabhupada gets this classic example of iron, also as the one of fire, that we can also become, in the mode of pure goodness, attain that Vasudeva state, which is more or less Brahmabhuta, by constantly staying in Krishna consciousness. That's the lesson of that verse at the end of the 14th chapter. Of avyabhicharena. Avyabhichara means without any deviation, by serving me. Mam cha avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate. Bhakti yogena, you can know the little Sanskrit you can learn. That when you see this ENA ending, yogena, means by means of, right, instrumental. One can sagunan samatijaitan, completely samatijaitan, transcend the modes of nature, and come to the platform of Brahmabhuta, of pure goodness. So that's, Prabhupada cites this verse here, and attain this Shuddha Sattva state. So, and you can always remember this state because Vasudeva is Krishna's father. You know, he took that role. You know, so when you attain the Vasudeva state, Krishna appears in your heart, uncovered. He reveals himself. He uncovers himself. This is an important point. It's not that suddenly you've done something and therefore automatically Krishna comes. He voluntarily reveals because he wants to the pure devotee. Okay. No material conditions. Then this revelation about the number 108, which I had completely forgotten, that Jiva Goswami explains in this Bhagavat Sandarbha, that Ashto Tara Shata is added to the name of the spiritual master to indicate one who is situated in Shuddha Sattva, or the Vasudeva state. You'll see that oftentimes in when we offer the Prema Dvani, Ashto Tara Shata Shri Srimad, or in formal declarations like on the Vyasa Puja book, on the cover, we use that Ashto Tara Shata Shri Srimad. So that's it's a very auspicious number. Now we have 108 beads, the 108 main gopis. So all of that is to remind us to come to this pure platform, Shuddha Sattva. Then this Prabhupada refers to the Bhagavad Gita, the 719, Bahunam Jamanamante Gyanavam Ampadide Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. That real knowledge, search of knowledge, culminates after many births, Krishna says, in surrendering unto me, because one understands that I, Vasudeva, am everything through my energies and my expansions. Okay. And then Prabhupada talks about this word kaivalya. Now I'll just tell you this verse. Prabhupada would quote it all the time. That for one who has achieved, this is the translation, for one who has achieved the merciful sidelong glance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and been empowered by the merciful glance by serving his Sankirtan movement. This is the result. Kaivalyang narakayate chudasapur akasha pushpayate durdan dendri yakara sarva patali prokata dangstrayate vishwam purna sukhayate vidimahindra adishtiki tayate yat karunya kataksha vaibhavavatam tam gaurame vastam. I praise Lord Chaitanya. So the first one means that for a devotee, he sees these things which are normally in different states for different people. The impersonalists, the yogis, the materialists are seen as very valuable, and he sees them as insignificant or even non-existent. So the first one is kaivalyam narakayate. For a bhakta, for a genuine Vaishnav, merging into the Brahman effulgence and losing one's identity and one's form, or merging into Krishna, which is inconceivable, is worse than going to hell. Because in hell, at least you have a form and you can call out to Krishna, or in hellish situations on this world, you have but if you lose your form, if you merge into Brahman, that opportunity is gone. For bhakti to happen, there has to be the Bhagavan, the Bhakta, and the Bhakti. Three things. And you lose that in the impersonal. So forget about Kaivalya. This is the impersonalist. We don't want that. And Tridashapur Akasha Pushpayate. That the 33 or 33 million heavenly planets with all their opulences, just like a sky flower, unreal. There's no attraction. It doesn't mean anything. Whereas so many others are, right? Those who are following karma kanda, performing sacrifices, trying to gain a better birth in heaven. Who cares? You don't care about it. And then the one that is, Prabhupada would often quote is verse 4. The very difficult to control senses, which are just like poisonous serpents, and they can bite you by taking away your mind and engaging you in material activity. They're still there. The same senses are there. So the serpents are there, but they have had their poisonous fangs removed, so they really can't hurt you. In other words, the senses are your friends because they are like paraphernalia for serving Krishna. And then he says, Durdan Dendi Yakarasa Bodkata Dangstrayate, Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. This world, which Krishna certifies as Dukali and Mashashvatam, temporary and full of miseries, the devotee sees Krishna's pastimes everywhere, and the whole world is full of happiness. Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. It's like the Prahlad's vision. He's saying, wherever I am, I can chant your glories and immerse myself in an ocean of happiness. So I have no problem. Naivod Vijay. I'm not at all in any anxiety or trouble. But I am soche. I'm lamenting for all of these poor souls who are trying to enjoy Maya Sukhaya. This is the preaching mood. Practically, the Sankara movement emanated from this verse and the next one. You know, that we ourselves, if we're Krishna conscious, we are feeling the happiness of Krishna consciousness and the peace. We feel the benefits, but we pada dukkha dukhi. Because the heart is soft, you feel sympathy and empathy for the suffering souls. So that pada dukkha dukhi means you're feeling that. So on that level, is impetus to try to give them Krishna consciousness. So that's come out there, and Vidi Mahindra Ajishtakita. So this is pure Prabodhananda Saraswati. He often writes verses like this. And he sees all the gods, beginning with Vidi, that's Brahma, and Mahendra, that's Indra, as no more significant for worship, we don't disrespect them, as insects. In other words, I'm not going to, worship Indra, to try to go to Indra Loka or anything like that. So this is the verse for one who's been empowered by Lord Chaitanya. Sidelong glance. So that Kaivalya is not what he's talking about here. Kaivalya simply means, again, the Vasudeva state. Okay, then, I don't think we read this. Yeah, so let me read this paragraph. It's a long purport. The action of the internal potency is also described in this verse as apavrata, free from any covering. Because the Lord, His name, His form, His quality, His paraphernalia, etc., being transcendental, are beyond material nature, it is not possible to understand any of them with the material senses. Recognize the verse? Atak Shri Krishna Namadi Nabave Grayam Indrayak. When the senses are purified by the discharge of devotional fervor, he's quoting this verse without the Sanskrit. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakta Ruchate. He quotes the second half of another verse, Sarvapadi Vinimaktam, the same idea. The pure senses can see Krishna without covering. Apavrata. Avrata is covering, apavrata is uncovered. Now one may inquire that since factually the devotee has the same material existential body, how is it possible that the same materialistic eyes become purified by devotional service? Interesting. The example, as stated by Lord Chaitanya, is that devotional service cleanses the mirror of the mind. In a clean mirror, one can see one's face very distinctly. In other words, the same mirror, it's the same mind, but it's clean. And from the cleanliness, you have a completely different experience. You can see yourself as a soul. In a clean mirror, one can see one's face very distinctly. Similarly, simply by cleansing the mirror of the mind, one can have a clear conception of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And as Sutta Goswami explains, in this highest state of purity, this is actually perfect because text 1, Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, text 21, I believe. Vidyate vidyanganchas, chidyante sarvasanshaya, chiyante chasya karmani, drishta evatmanishvare. That in this high state of purity and realization, bhakti vigyan, then all of the knots in the heart are cut asunder, the attachments for this world. Chidyante sarvasanshaya. Dharma, do you know what a sanksha is? Sankshaya? That word comes. Doubt. It's a doubt. So all your doubts are completely gone because you have direct perception. If you're perceiving something, no one can convince you it's not true. And chiyante chasya karmani drishta evatmanishvare. Gauranga. You with us? Haribol Guru. So this is very important. The drishta eva atmani ishvare means that one sees oneself and one's master, the super soul. So you understand your sarup, meaning your spiritual body, because you're seeing Krishna directly. If you're seeing Krishna, actually seeing him, then you see yourself at the same time. Prabhupada explains that in the purport. Look it up. But you won't find it in the translation. That one's going to be fixed. Hare Krishna. It's already fixed in the database. Okay, so simply by cleansing the mirror of the mind through chanting the holy name chiefly, it is stated in Bhagavad Gita 8.8, Abhyasa yoga yuktena, by executing one's prescribed duties in devotional service, cetasa nanya gamina, or simply by hearing about God and chanting about Him, if one's mind is always engaged in chanting and hearing and is not allowed to go elsewhere, one can realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's our main process. As confirmed by Lord Chaitanya, by the Bhakti Yoga process, beginning from hearing and chanting, one can cleanse the heart and mind, and thus one can clearly see the face of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We should keep that aspiration burning in our heart. That's what it takes. Lord Shiva said that since his heart was always filled with the conception of Vasudeva, Supreme Lord, because of the Supreme Lord's presence within his mind and heart, he was always offering obeisances unto the Supreme Godhead. In other words, Shiva was always in trance, always in samadhi. This samadhi is not under the control of the devotee, it is under control of Vasudeva, for the entire internal energy of the Lord acts under his order. Of course, the material energy also acts by his order, but his direct will is specifically executed through the spiritual energy. Thus, by his spiritual energy, he reveals himself. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita 4:6, Sambhavam Yatma Maya. Now, this is one of those verses describing how and when he appears. Not the famous one, Yada Yada, but the one before it. Bahuni me, Vyati Tani. No. Ajopisan, thank you. Ajopisan Abhyatma Bhutanami Sharopisan Prakatam Swamadastaya Sambhavam Yatma Mayaya. Atma Mayaya. Now Prabhupada would often quote this verse. Forgive me, I'm always, like working over these editing things, so sometimes that's going to come in the classes, but I think you find it interesting. That Prabhupada would almost always quote this verse for this word, Atma Maya, contrasting that Krishna says there, although I am unborn, and my transcendental form never deteriorates, I still appear age after age by my internal energy, Atma Maya, my own energy, as opposed to us, who appear again and again, forced to by our karma. We don't decide to come in this body or that body. That's all decided by higher forces, higher powers according to our karma. So Krishna comes out. Now, this word, by my internal energy, was not in that translation for all these years. And I consulted with Jayaway Maharaj and we decided to put it back. Prabhupada preaches on it in the purport. He quotes the verse for that purpose, but somehow it had been left out. So that's in there. Now you'll see it in your Bhagavad Gita if you open it up. But it's been there only about 1 or 2 years. So what do you think? Important to restore it? I think so. It's a very important word. By his sweet will, he reveals himself by his internal potency, being satisfied by the transcendental loving service of the devotee. The devotee never commands, "My dear Lord, please come here so that I can see you." It is not the position of the devotee to command the Lord to come before him or to dance before him. There are many so-called devotees who command the Lord to come before them dancing. The Lord, however, is not subject to anyone's command, but if he's satisfied by one's pure devotional activities, he reveals himself. This idea that the initiative is always with Krishna. Basically, all we can do is pray. All our services are different forms of prayer. Basically, please accept this service. I'm trying to serve you. I know I'm so contaminated. Please place me again at this Adam at your lotus feet. Hare Krishna, please engage me in your service, right? Prabhupada taught us. So that ardent desire, when it's genuine, it's almost like, we think like that, we chant like that, but obviously it's against how we've been living for millions of births, which is we don't want to serve you. I mean, that's what our material life means, right? We don't want to serve you, Krishna. We want to try to enjoy. So now we have to reverse that mentality and constantly pray, please, reinstate me in that service. And when that prayer is genuinely from the bottom of the heart and desperate enough, Krishna will reveal. He's already revealing. Even if you pray a little bit, not with our material contamination, so many things, still he gives you the opportunity to continue devotional service, and he gives you some detachment and bliss. Otherwise you wouldn't be sitting here. When that prayerfulness is like constant, and you're like, like Lord Chaitanya prays in the Shikshastika, Ainanda tanuja kinkadam patitam mam vishame bhavam modo kripayata papada pankajasti tatuli sadisham vishaniya. My dear Lord, somehow or other I've fallen into this horrible ocean of birth and death. I left you, oh Nandasudha. Please pick me up again and place me again as an atom at your lotus feet. So that's the mood we should be in. And Krishna reveals himself proportionately. When the Supreme Lord reveals himself to the pure devotee, the devotee has no other duty than to offer him respectful obeisances. The Absolute Truth reveals himself to the devotee in his form. He's not formless, Vasudeva is not formless, for it is stated in this verse that as soon as the Lord reveals himself, the devotee offers obeisances. Obeisances are offered to a person, not to anything impersonal. One should not accept the Mayavad interpretation that Vasudeva is impersonal. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, papadyate, one surrenders. One surrenders to a person, not to impersonal non-duality. Whenever there is a question of surrendering or offering obeisances, there must be an object of surrender or obeisances. So we kind of come to the 8:30 point. But this is, this whole purport, this verse, which is very important and which is full of commentators. When you see a purport like this, where there's a lot of substance in it, and probably you know for a fact that all the commentators have commentated on this. We quoted Jiva Goswami in here and many others. So Prabhupada's books are full of these, wonderful jewels. All his purports are jewel-like, but occasionally you find like a multi-jewel diadem, like this, and we should really study it. There's so much substance here. Okay, yes, Prabhu. Okay, so this verse is number 23, and tomorrow we'll do 24. Okay, so we can learn the first line right now. I'll say, you say. Sattvam vishuddham. Sattvam vishuddham. Vasudeva shabditam. Okay, the whole line. Sattvam vishuddham vasudeva shabditam. Okay, that's a line that Prabhupada often quoted, and it defines what pure goodness is. That's where Vasudeva appears. That's the whole idea. It's called Vasudeva because Vasudeva appears in it. Go ahead. Hare Krishna. Yeah, that's from Upanishads. Oh, okay. Well, there's so many words and concepts that are so rich in Krishna consciousness. Practically, you could explore the entire philosophy from that one point of view. And one of them is the concept of Sangha. Sangha really is the whole ballgame, It's when Sangha means two things. And this is part of the Sanskrit and Vedic theology and philosophy that's important to know. That oftentimes, two words or two concepts are freighted in one word because the one causes the other. One is related to the other. And this word Sangha is like that. Sangha means association. Obviously, satsanga, but it also means attachment, doesn't it? Association, attachment, because association produces attachment. You see that? The effect is there in the cause, and sometimes this very same word is used. So so this word asango heyam purusha doesn't mean really that the purusha is not attached, because the reason why we're prakriti, why we're called purusha is because we become attached. We want to be attached to this world. But that attachment is external to the actual nature of the soul. So sometimes it's said that also doesn't exist. But really what the asanga means is that we're not associated, we're not mixed up with this material world. It's all a big mistake. We are constitutionally or inherently distinct from the material energy. We're a different category of energy. We really belong to the internal energy. But because we're so minute and we have a tendency to become controlled by the external energy, we're called tatastha shakti. Tata means the margin, like down at the beach here, where wherever it's the ocean comes in and goes out. That's kind of the tata, the bank. And sta means situated. So sta, in this case, sta, tatasta shakti. And because we're tatasta shakti, but we're basically internal, we don't have any real involvement or association with this material energy. That's what this means. Now, what that means is it's great, because our natural state, our intrinsic state, is to be completely blissful, satchidananda. So we're just coming back to that natural state. This entire sojourn in the material world, sojourn means a stay. Some people think it means a journey, but it's actually a stay. Was a huge mistake. It's unnatural for the living entity. And that's why we can never really be at peace here, You can have an illusion of peace and security, but anyone with a little intelligence knows, well, just wait a while, Time will remove your security, remove your peace, and remove your whole body. But that desire for peace and security and happiness is the most intrinsic to the soul, because that's in the spiritual world. So really what we're trying to do is just to get rid of all the crud, that cheto darpana marginam. Marginam literally means to wipe, and the darpana is the mirror of the consciousness. So by Sankirtan, it's a very powerful force if we just surrender to it. That's why we should really try to chant more. If you have an opportunity to be in the kirtan, run to it, Like these Rath Yatras are great, because just if you're there on the procession, which to me is the basic, essence of the Rath Yatra, there's so much chanting. It's like a 2 or 3 hour kirtan. When do we really have that? In the old days, I like to, I went out. I mean, I came at the end of it, but 3 hours was the norm for every bhakta, every devotee of Harinam Sankirtan in Brooklyn when I joined in '73. Yeah, I mean, we were all, not, people had duties at the temple. There was cooking going on, and so not everyone could go out at the same time. But sometime during the day, there were parties out there. There were like 2 parties, a morning party and an afternoon party, and you're supposed to be part of one of them, especially if you're a new guy, And everybody, morning and evening program, Mangal Artik, and then the evening kirtan would often go on. I mean, I remember in New Dwarka, Agni Dev was there. His youth, and he would often lead the evening kirtan, and we'd take it outside onto Watsekta Avenue and just go up and down, have a little Harinam, That's how much devotees are like. That's our normal thing that we do. We just get together and chant, because that is the Yuga Dharma. That is where the purification comes. Then everything changes. The relationship between devotees, your natural state, meaning that as soon as you come in and see the deities, you're more purified, it's more ecstatic, everything, This is part what the material energy does. It convinces you of something completely false, which is that the basis of everything is your consciousness. Just like nowadays people are worried. There's a whole lot of anxiety. It's like someone you're driving in it's like a mobile home or something, like a fancy mobile home, and then. Suddenly you feel this way and swaying that way. What happened? Oh, that crazy guy Joe is taking the wheel. But he's crazy. He's not stable. He may take us off the road. So everybody in that mobile home or that, is suddenly in high anxiety. Can we get in there and try to, slow him down and get him to stop? You got this crazy president, So, but that's the material world. We know sometimes we get Hiranyakashipu. He had everybody surrender to him, even the demigods, everyone, even Narada Muni said I had to bow down to him. Can you imagine living in that regime? For anyone who's anyway. So that's the material world. You think it's together and it's not. So our natural state is not to be attached. And by following Krishna consciousness, you feel less detached. We were going to look at the wardrobe. I mean, it's so simple. Who cares? You're not playing the game of trying to attract the opposite sex, that whole thing. It's not there anymore. That's so liberating, But you have to carefully transfer that natural attachment to Krishna. And he's so attractive if you just chant. Yesterday I discovered a verse that I hadn't chanted in a long time, about Krishna's flute. This is in a book called the Govinda Viradavali. And at the beginning and the end of this book, Krishna says, anyone who reads this book automatically pleases me. I mean, this is a great book. So one of the verses, they're all like far out. Tavamaladi dvanadamadi kamam buddhi viddishu brangshu. So one of the things, the beautiful way he says it, so he uses two metaphors. He says, Tavamudali, your flute. Dvanar means the sound. Dvani is sound. Tavamudali dvanar. Amari, the Amari are the immortals, in this case the female immortals, the ladies of the heavenly planets. Kamam buddhi. Vriddhi Shubhrangshu. Shubhrangshu is that which has white effulgence, the moon. It's a word for moon, Shubhrangshu. Your flute sound is like the moon and it causes the tides to rise, causes the ocean of the lusty desires, the kama, of the heavenly planets, ladies in the heavenly planets, to expand. You see? And Achyutala Gokula Kulajaya, Achyutala means very chaste and self-controlled. Gokula Kulajaya, the ladies of Gokula, in other words, the gopis. Daryambudi, their patience, their ocean of patience. So one is an ocean of desire, conjugal desire, and the other is the ocean of patience. You are the Agastya Muni. Remember, there's two things you got to remember Agastya Muni. This will take you a long way in your devotional service. One was he was born from, from a pot. So he's Kumbhaja. And the other thing, he drank an ocean. He drank one of the oceans one time. So your flute sound is the Kumbhaja, the Agastya Muni, who is drinking the ocean of the patience of the gopis. So on one side he's expanding the ocean of desire of the ladies in the heavenly planets, and the other side is that flute sound is drinking the ocean of the patience of the gopis. And they're becoming exangster on it. So it's been explained in English is kind of, okay, that's interesting. But the way he says it, the whole point is you got to get your mind attached to this kind of vibration. And Rupa Goswami, remember, and I'll end with this because I'm going on and on, but the way they calculate the breakfast is probably just getting ready, is that the second verse, yes, Shri Gauranga Gunarna Varna Devadho Shuddhasa Mridhanvito Papo Tapana Kuntano Tanubatam Govinda Ganamritai. So that line is related to this Govinda Viradavali. Because what it says there is the Papo Tapa. You know what Papo Tapa means? Papa is sin. And Utapa means the terrible burning pains that result from sin. I must have done something with my foot in my last night because I'm getting pain right now. It's starting to seize up again. So the horrible suffering that comes from sin that all the materialists are suffering, Nikrintano, they're cutting it off. How? Govinda Ganamritai, by pouring down nectarious songs about Govinda. In other words, giving us vibrations where you can, that's like the Bhagavatam, the Gita, to wrap your mind around them, chant them, share them with your friends, and glorify, absorb your mind. And then your misery goes, and you develop actual attraction for Krishna. So, if anyone wants to go into Viradavali, I can give it to you. I have to offer my obeisance to Dravida Prabhu, who's provided this wonderful treasure. Okay, I'll end with this one verse from Govinda Viradavali, which I put into a poem. This is what you get. Bhujanga de Pachandaka. Now listen to this sound. Bhujanga de Pachandaka, Sputa de Kunda Chudankule. Nirankashada Ganchala, Brahmina Bodhna Bringam Brahme, Patanga Duhatustati, Vanakoti Rakedi Priye, Padus Pudutame Mahustwaya Mukunda Shuddharati. Now, you can visualize, you wear the best of crests, a crown of perfect peacock plumes. Your dancing glances stun the bees, meandering amidst the blooms. You relish love play in a cottage by Kalindi's shore. O Krishna, may pure love for you be mine forevermore. Perfect prayer. Okay, one more. Well, yeah, I mean, that was an original poem based on it's inspired by the Madhurashtaka of Vallabha, which ends with the line, Madhurati Patera Kilam Madhuram. Every verse ends with that. The Emperor of Sweetness is completely sweet. So, All right. Do I have permission? 2 or 3 verses. I'm sorry. Your lotus feet and hands are sweet. Your waist and lotus navel sweet. Your threefold bending pose is sweet. O king of sweet, you're sweet complete. Your lips are sweet. Your smile is sweet. Your lotus eyes and face are sweet. Your heart is sweet. Your name is sweet. O king of sweet, you're sweet complete. And you go like 30 or 40 verses. Because it's very easy to write that. You don't have to worry about rhyming. Everything rhymes, you know. But it's quite a meditation. I got a slideshow goes with it too. Yeah. And then the Tribungi Chandastava. As you walk the path among the forest trees with your friends, you enjoy many ecstasies. Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna. The coos of the cuckoos never can defeat the mellifluous sound of your voice so sweet. Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna. You wander among the kadamba blooms like a honeybee drunk on the heady perfumes. Krishna. Anyway, there's a bunch of things like that. Should I do it? Okay, we'll see. I don't want to say yes because I'm thinking of these. We'll pick it out maybe. All glory to the Prabhupada.